Everyone, I'm Aurora Newton,
And I'm Angie Bailey.
and this is Ask the A Team.
And today we're going to talk about disappointments. It's my daughter's birthday. We
It's
have
her
plans
birthday.
to go to Kings Island, Soak City. And, well, if you could see the weather out the window, I'm looking right now. It's not a Soak City kind of day. Well, we would be soaked, but lightning, thunder, not a good idea. And so I was trying to explain some, disappointments and how sometimes a disappointment can lead to a new adventure that's unexpected.
That's right. So we have lots of stories like that,
Yes.
and I want to just say, first of all, to those who might know the people involved in these stories, we love them very much.
Yes. Yes.
So please don't take this as a slam.
Yeah.
But one of the, and I said this to Angie, and she said it's okay to share. There was a big disappointment at first. When my son and now daughter-in-law came, and he said that we were going to be grandparents because they weren't married yet and they were very young. But what we did was we, instead of being disappointed and then, you know, putting the smack down on them, we came alongside them and we loved them. We planned a wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. Aaron was in it,
Yes.
yeah. And now I have an amazing grandbaby and an amazing daughter-in-law because of that. And so something that can seem like a disappointment at the time, and to some people that would have been a tragedy, and they would have treated it as such, and they wouldn't have the relationship probably now that they have with their daughter-in-law and their grandbaby and their son. But when we come up against those disappointments, it's so important, and we say this so many times, to pray and trust God through the process because there is beauty on the other side of it. And even as I left this morning, my grandson was up and I was talking to my granddaughter and I was feeding him, and there was just this love and this joy that I wouldn't have if I had reacted differently to my initial disappointment.
Yeah. I remember one of the most prominent examples in my life that I always look back on is when I was on the mission field. I was living in London. We were working with runaways in Soho, and I remember when I was there, and I absolutely loved it because, for me, that was living in London, and it was like
living in London.
Yeah, it was in many ways completely different than what it was in my mind, but it was still such an
That's so
it
good.
was expensive, and I couldn't shop at Harrods, but um, so when I was over there, it was just such an amazing time, and we saw God move so many ways. But my time there came to an abrupt end when I fell down a flight of stairs and really I was injured pretty badly and didn't receive adequate health care. And so, I mean, immediately my mom was like, she already had a ticket for me to come home for the holidays. And, you tell a mom, that their daughter's hurt in a foreign country. And it took her about 25 minutes to call me back and say, hey, be at Heathrow early in the morning and I have you a flight out. So she had gotten it changed. And so I came home, and it was such a hard time in my life. Like, I mourned. Not only was I in pain because I had really hurt my neck, but I mourned the team, the amazing team. Shout out to you guys. You know who you are. That I was with over there. And we had learned to work together so smoothly. I mean, the left always knew what the right hand was doing, and there was just this flow that came from Holy Spirit. When you're going out,
we sort of
you
have
do
that
know.
now, don't we?
We do. I found that again. Hello. That flow that comes when you're answering the call on your life, and even the Great Commission. And so I was mourning. I had a really, really hard time with that. And then slowly, these lights started happening. I joined a worship band, singing with them. And then I met my husband. He wasn't my husband then. But I met this guy, and I was like, wow, who is this guy? I actually had a crush on another bandmate. What? Scandalous. And this was my husband, who became my husband, was his roommate. So I knew I'd gotten the right address. I'd gotten really, really close. I was honing in my skills, right? and he ended up becoming my husband. And listen, if I hadn't fallen down those stairs, if I hadn't endured that pain, physical and spiritual and mental, of just leaving my team that I love so dearly and a place that I love so dearly, doing something that was just my heart's passion, then I wouldn't have met my soulmate. I wouldn't have met my teammate for life. And so I think it is that, that triumph out of tragedy, because it was such a tragic thing in my life that had happened, just to be ripped away from something like that. But I had no idea that Jason was coming in my life, but God did. And so it's things like that, a rainy day kind of ruin your birthday, literally raining on your parade. And and it can bring something,
it can lead to something so much more beautiful.
So much more beautiful than you could have ever had planned out to the T, right? And like, this is how my life is going to go, this is how my day is going to go, this is how this situation is going to go down. And then God can intervene, and it can feel really painful at the time because it's not your plans, but it's His. And it can lead to so many wonderful things. So be open to that.
Right.
Don't get stuck in that disappointment, right?
And don't think that, oh, God's sending this bad thing to bring me through to this good thing.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Because His word is very clear that He can work all things for the good of those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. But sometimes the purpose, like you said, the disappointment really is His lofty view that we don't have.
Yeah.
And He's already got a plan greater than that. I think about that every time I pick up my grandbaby, every time I walk in the door and he just screeches for joy and just shakes his little hands and smiles. I think, I would not have missed this for the world.
Right,
I would not have missed this for the world. So take those disappointments and turn them into gladness. It says He turns our mourning into gladness.
Absolutely.
And He did. He turned your mourning into gladness.
Absolutely. And I'm the outcome of an unwed pregnancy as well.
Right. We've talked about that before,
He works all things.
I would not have wanted to miss this buddy in my life.
And neither would one of my parents. So,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that this touched you in some way. I know it touches us every time we get to share a little bit of our testimony, and sometimes it's hard to share those things and dig up those things.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, it really is. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because our goal when we started this was to touch people's lives for Jesus.
And you're overcomers by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony.
Yes. And here we are.
Here you are.
Sharing our testimony. And we look forward to maybe hearing yours someday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if this has helped you in any way or can help someone that you know, please like and share.
Bye.
Bye, guys.